Thanks for the intro, Phil. Always great to be here with SCORE. I love you guys. We do similar presentations in Rochester and Syracuse as well, so we know SCORE pretty well. We'll switch over to the presentation here. And there we go. Just out of the way. Okay, everybody got that okay? So we're going to talk about franchise ownership as a business option. This is me. I'm starting to bill myself as the too tall franchise guy. If you see me, you'll know why. I think we talked about, I think Phil covered all of this. I am on the executive committee and I'm treasurer of the Greece Chamber of Commerce. And I'm a board member and on the audit committee of the Buffalo Niagara Sales and Marketing Executives, BNSME, and I'm a fifth generation Western New Yorker. My family came to Niagara County on the canal many, many years ago. So who is FranNet? FranNet is a 30-year-old international franchise consulting firm. We invented this brokerage business where we work with people who want to start their own business. There are 80 of us running around the US and Canada. I own an office that covers Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. Other people own different territories, and we have associates who work with us. I have one named Angela LaVecchia. You may have come across her in Buffalo. You almost certainly will see her if you ever come to Rochester. We're national partners with SCORE and SBDC. We've been working with SCORE and SBDC forever, since we started over 30 years ago. And we're very proud of those connections, and we value them very much. I keep forgetting to say this, so I'm going to say it right up front. Our services are 100% free. Clients do not pay us a dime. We are paid a commission by the franchisor if somebody buys a business. When they pay the franchise fee, we get a commission. So, you know, it's in my best interest to find the best franchise for you so that we can get to the point where you have signed the agreement and are ready to start opening your business. We don't sell. What we do is we match. So we match and we educate. We help people understand what's available in business ownership, and we offer choices so that you can make the best informed decision. We do the pre-screening, and again, we do not sell. That's not our job. The franchisor will do enough selling for everybody. Our job is to find the right thing and make the introduction, make sure you're qualified, and let the franchisor worry about making the sale. Our SCORE partnership, like I said, we've been connected with SCORE for a long time. We both do the same thing. We mentor clients, we do live webinars, we do workshops, interactive classes, and provide resources. You all know about SCORE, dedicated to launching small business. And we work very closely with the SCORE mentors when they send us a client. We stay in touch with the mentor to make sure that they're up to date on everything that's going on. So why business ownership? It comes down to having some level of success, and success is defined in different ways. To some people it's fulfillment, some it's flexibility, especially coming out of the pandemic. A lot of people are looking for flexibility now. They enjoyed going to the kids' soccer game on Tuesday afternoon, which they couldn't do when they were 9 to 5 downtown. They're looking to gain that flexibility back. Independence and control, financial security, no more layoffs and money. A lot of our clients come out of layoffs at different businesses, and we work very closely with the outplacement agencies, although there aren't very many of them anymore. Three options when you for business ownership. You can start a business from scratch, you can buy an existing business, or you can buy a franchise. If you start a business from scratch, the advantage is you have total control over everything. You make all the decisions, be as creative as you want, make your own rules. There's a large upside, and you can follow your passion. The disadvantage is you have to create the systems. You know, you can go into business and start offering services, but if you're not accounting for your services that you're providing, and you're not doing your marketing, and you're not hiring people, you need those systems in place in order to make the business succeed. Banks are not as wild about businesses starting from scratch. Banks like franchises because the concept is proven. It can take a long time to get your business from scratch started up, and there's a very high failure rate. You can buy an existing business. Again, you get total control, you get a measure of cash flow, you get goodwill, you get to see actual financial results. It's more attractive to lenders. There's already market established and proven. There's a customer base, there may be employees. Some of the systems may be in place, and the owner may provide some financing. The disadvantage is the cash flow may not be good. Instead of developing goodwill, they've developed bad will in the community. May be overpriced. I will tell you, it will be overpriced until you do some negotiating. You may not get the training and support that you need. You may have, the seller may have some hidden motives. There's a business in Rochester that has a great location, great parking lot, and you might be tempted to buy that business if it was offered, until you found out that the city was about to realign the streets in that area, and they were going to take out half of the parking lot. Employee defection. We've had situations here in Rochester where a business was acquired by another business, and all the employees left because they didn't want to work for that other business. It's going to be more expensive, so you're going to have a little bit higher debt service. The franchise takes the advantages of some and minimizes disadvantages. You walk in, as soon as you open your business, you have a recognized name, a trademark, you have a right to use all that intellectual property that they've developed. The systems are proven and in use in many places, and you've already talked with franchisees who are using those systems, so you know how they work. You get great training and support. The important thing to remember is that the franchisor doesn't make money until you make money. So the faster they can get you ramped up, trained, make you a better owner operator, the faster they start making money. A much lower failure rate than businesses started from scratch. They tend to be lower cost, many more financing options. You get to see a full disclosure. The franchise disclosure document, which is mandated by the Federal Trade Commission, gives you all the information that you could possibly need about the franchise. And if you're comparing two franchises, the documents are in exactly the same format, so it makes it easy to compare. And with a franchise, you join a family. You develop relationships with other franchisees. You can help each other. You can learn from each other. And just being part of that family makes it a better experience for you. Disadvantage: there's fewer industry options. The operating system may be overly structured in some franchises. There may be territory restrictions. You may be able to only sell their products, and you have ongoing royalty payments. But these are all things you'll know before you make a decision. You'll know exactly what your options are. You'll know exactly how the operating system works. You'll know exactly what territory you're getting. You'll know if you have to buy your products from the franchisor, or if you can get them elsewhere. And you know exactly what your royalty payments are going to be. So franchise, very simply, is a license to use the name, trademarks, products, and systems of an existing company. And in exchange, you pay an initial franchise fee and ongoing royalties. And the franchise really is the headquarters, brings in operators, the operators bring in customers. So you're really the face of the business. The franchise headquarters is not really involved in the day-to-day operations of your business except to support you. So what does it take to succeed in franchising? It's really about your drive and determination, the business system, and the fit. So How strong is your desire to own a franchise? The more, the better. The business system, how good is the franchise system being offered? And the fit. Will the business maximize my own strengths, passions, and experiences? And if you can have all of those things at a high rate, then you have a better likelihood of being successful as a franchisee. The most important part is the desire to own a business, because it's tough. You got to be able to overcome obstacles and not get discouraged. Drive is also called, desire for greater flexibility, control of one's future, financial success, independence, etc. And business ownership can be very rewarding, but it's not easy. There are a lot of bumps in the road that you have to get over. The business system, it's the total package for the business. It talks about the location, the marketing, products, the sales process, management, and training. The system is more important than having the product. Does McDonald's make a great hamburger? No, but they're very successful because they have a terrific system. Every McDonald's you go into is similar, almost the same. It's almost a cookie cutter approach because everybody is following the same operating system. Franchises tend to take common products like hamburgers and oil changes, mold remediation, water damage remediation, all kinds of common products or problems, and build an effective business system around them. And the part that we focus on is the fit. The McDonald's has a great business system. I personally would not be a great McDonald's owner. Sorry, it's just not for me. It doesn't fit me. You want to be able to build on your strengths and talents. Every franchise system has successful operators and less than successful operators, and the difference is the individual. Everybody's operating the same system. It's the differences in how they run it. We'll put together a business model that helps you identify who you are and what kind of business you should have. And it's very important that we get the fit, that we find the fit. Most important part of what I do. So questions to ask yourself. This is from our Roadmap to Success booklet. I sent Ted a PDF copy of that so he can distribute it after the show or after the presentation. Can you do it? Do you have the drive to open and run the business? Do I understand and accept the responsibilities of owning my own business? Will I enjoy it? Am I willing to follow the franchisor system? If you're not willing to follow the system, don't buy a franchise. Go off on your own, do your own thing, make your own rules. But if you're going to buy a franchise, follow the system. Be prepared to follow the system. I had a client who, unfortunately, I didn't understand her during our process, and that we started setting her up, and she fought the franchisor on every decision about opening her business, and not surprisingly, she was out of business 6 months later. Very disappointing. Do I have the attributes, the personal attributes to be successful? You gotta be organized. You gotta be able to deal with change. You gotta be ready to run the business. Can you afford the franchise? That's another thing that we can help you with. We have great relationships with lenders in the community as well as some national lenders. A lot of people use the rollover for business startup that lets them take money from a 401k plan and convert it into a retirement plan that owns the business without tax or penalty. If you just take money out of a 401k, you're going to pay tax, you're going to pay a penalty, and you'll wind up with a lot less than if you do this conversion. And critically, does your family support you? Nothing worse than getting into a business and having your family not being on board. So what is a good franchise system? There's varying degrees of success and profitability with each franchise, and the specific characteristics make some franchise systems far more profitable than others. we'll discuss those as part of our exploration. You want to look at the success of the overall organization to make sure that you can have a profitable business. You want to talk with existing franchisees and learn what they know, because they're hands-on in the business doing what you'll be doing for the next whatever period of time. So with a good franchise system, we're looking for their experience, their simplicity, training and support, the name recognition, the operation system, the sales systems, marketing systems, the teamwork culture, demographics and site selection. If you're going to be bricks and mortar, site selection is very important. They've done it hundreds, if not thousands of times, and they can identify a site that's going to be good for their business. And you're looking for speed and efficiency. So what's important to you? You know, a lot of people are looking for challenge, recognition, prestige. A lot of other people are looking to build equity for retirement. They want to have time for family and their other interests. They want to be independent. They're tired of working for the man and they're ready to be out on their own. And they're looking for financial security. We're seeing a lot of people now who are looking for financial security by having a second income stream, which can be generated by a franchise. We help you develop a business model, which talks about all the aspects of running your business. What kind of, you know, your preferences. Do you want a lot of employees or a few employees? How much money do you want to spend? What kind of business environment do you want to see? Do you want full or part-time? Do you want to work yourself full or part-time hours? How many units do you want to open? Are you going to be happy with one, or do you want to open 3 or 5 or 10 or 100? What types of customers do you want? Do you want a service versus a product? Do you want a new franchise or one that's in an established industry? And is there room for growth? If you start out with 1, can you get to 3? Another important thing that you bring to the franchise is your transferable skills. And this is what the franchisors look for more than they look for your knowledge of their business. They can teach you the business, but they can't teach you the transferable skills in sales, marketing, HR, financial management, operations, customer service. These are all skills that you've developed over your career that you're bringing with you. And then we want to talk about your lifestyle goals. Where do you see yourself in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? You know, and can the franchise get you to those goals? So the financial planning involves understanding the franchise fee, the capital requirements, the startup costs. You know, if you're opening a restaurant, you need tables and chairs and stoves and ovens, countertops, cash registers. You need all kinds of things. You got to understand what those costs are. You need to understand the operating capital that's required for the business. How much money do you have to have as a cushion to make sure you get through to the point where the business is spinning off enough cash that it's providing enough cash to support the business. And you need to understand ongoing fees and royalties. And all this information is included in the franchise disclosure document. The franchisors put these together to supply full disclosure information, letting you know what to expect from the franchise and help you make a better purchasing decision. There's really no correlation between how much you spend on the business to own the business and how much you can make. Typically 25 to 30% of your total investment, and each franchise has a total investment number. If you can bring 25 to 30% of that total investment in cash, you can finance the balance. There are SBA loans. There are a lot of people will use a home equity line of credit or a home equity loan. And I talked earlier about the rollover for business startup that lets you take tax-free money from your 401k or IRA and transfer it into a retirement plan that owns your business. So this is how I have my franchise set up. FranNet is a franchise. So my franchise I bought with 401k money. So what do you want to ask the franchisors about when you're talking with them? You want to talk to them about their products and their services. You want to know how they're different or better from the others. You want to know who their competitors are. You want to know how they're succeeding against those competitors. You want to know how long they've been franchising. How solid is their model? And one of the things we look at is how you match up with franchise maturity. Do you need a franchise with a really structured operating system like McDonald's? Or are you more willing to be a little flexible and help a new franchisor develop their operating system? Different people like different things. You want to know how big they are, how long they've been operating, and you want to understand how many units have closed in the last 3 years. This information is all in the franchise disclosure document, but you want to know why units are closing. Is it because all the franchisees are dissatisfied, or because they can't make money in the business, or did the franchisor clean house and fire some of the lower performing franchisees? You just need to know why businesses are closing, and the franchise disclosure document gives you the ability to talk to people who have left the business as well as those who are still in it. You want to find out what kind of support the franchisor provides. You want to understand their financial strength and management experience, all disclosed in the franchise disclosure document. You get to see the previous year's audited financials so that you can fully understand it. You want to know how much revenue comes from the initial franchise fees, because the answer should be a very small percentage. Revenue in for the franchisor should be coming from ongoing royalties or sales of product, and not from the initial franchise fees. If a franchisor is all the revenue is coming from the franchise fees, that's a very bad sign. It doesn't show the potential for longevity of the franchise. And you want to understand your commonalities, your common interests between yourself and the franchisor. You want to understand how current franchisees feel about the franchisor. Is it supportive? Is it combative? I mean, there are some franchises where they just battle with their franchisees. Wendy's and Tim Hortons had this problem after they were taken over by a venture capital firm. They lost a lot of franchisees who just did not like the new structure. You want to understand if there are lawsuits. Are they being sued by existing franchise or former franchisees? Why? You need to understand these things about the franchisor to understand their capabilities and their quality. So we kind of have gone over all these, how long you've been in business, what were you doing previously. I'm sorry, these are for when you're talking with existing franchisees. You want to know how long they've been in business, what they did before, why they chose a franchise, if it's working well, how they're getting along with the franchisor. Was the initial training and support, is that successful? Is the marketing doing well for you? You want to know if other franchisees are unhappy in the business and why. And finding and training and retaining employees is a big deal right now. A lot of franchisors will help you find those employees and interview them and make sure they're going to be quality employees for you. What do you like best and least about the business? And the biggie, if you had the chance to do it over again, would you? Or would you buy a different franchise, or would you not go into franchising at all? These are questions that you can ask existing franchisees because they're living in the business day to day. The franchisor won't have this kind of information. So here are the some questions for to ask the franchisors. and the franchisees. Overcoming roadblocks. There are going to be roadblocks. You know, there's the initial interest and excitement, and sometimes that carries through to opening the franchise. Sometimes, you know, you get ambushed and you don't maintain that that excitement and interest. Can you continue moving forward if it's not all sunshine and roses? And here are the primary roadblocks. The spousal roadblock. It's owning the business is a family decision. You've got to have your spouse and your family on board about starting your own business. And we strongly encourage the spouse to be on the call with us when so they understand everything that is going on in the development. Second roadblock is the friend, neighbor, brother-in-law roadblock. The brother-in-law roadblock is classic at Thanksgiving. You run into your brother-in-law, and they poo-poo the idea that you're putting forward, the business that you're going to go into. And you have to really understand that you're different from them. You need to take in the information they're giving you. You may want to follow up on some of it, but you don't need to take it as gospel, and you shouldn't take it as gospel. You need to do your own research and come to your own decision. Self and the internet roadblock. You know, casual inquiry versus real research. We get a lot of casual inquiries, but we want our clients doing real research, really digging into the franchise, really understanding it, understanding the industry, so that they understand what they're getting into and they can get a great franchise. If you don't follow your dreams, you'll work for someone who did. Big dreams have small beginnings. I mean, you've all heard the story about, you know, Hewlett Packard starting out in the garage in Palo Alto. IBM was a little clock shop in Oneonta before they took on other businesses and grew to the size they were. You'll get nervous, you'll get scared, deal with it. Don't let nerves steal your dream. So you want to do your homework before you buy. You want to fall in love with what a franchise can do for you, not with the product or service sold by the franchise. You got to like the product or service, but it's really, what you're really buying is what the franchise can do for you. You want to be sure you have your own business model and that your goals are clearly stated and that you can achieve those. You have to be willing to follow the franchise system, and you have to be willing to work hard and be committed to your success. Along the way, we'll introduce you to professional advisors who can help you. The franchise attorney, the business attorney. Yep, they're both attorneys, but they have different skills. The franchise attorney is an expert in the franchise disclosure document, and they can read it quickly and understand where the bodies are buried, what's good, what's bad. Business attorney is somebody you're going to have a longer term relationship with because they're going to be with you throughout the life of your business. Your accountant, your banker, insurance agents are important. And not too surprisingly, business librarians are important. In Buffalo, at the downtown library, you have a fantastic resource in the business librarian. Sorry, I'm blanking on his name right now, but I've talked with him. He wants people who want to start businesses to come in and challenge him and help him, you know, make him help them with their research. Some books that we recommend, More Than Just French Fries is a bunch of stories by my FranNet colleagues about their experience in the franchise industry. The E-Myth Revisited is a classic. You should be reading that if you're starting any kind of business, not just a franchise. And Street Smart Franchising is the Bible of Understanding Franchises. Pretty easy to read. It's a little dry, but it's pretty easy to read. I give all of my clients this book. Where else can you get information? Franchise.org is the website of the International Franchise Association. They have all kinds of news. They're really good on the news. They're really good on education and certification. You can learn a lot about the industry by following the International Franchise Association at franchise.org. Not surprisingly, we're going to recommend the SCORE website. A lot of the content on the SCORE website about franchising is information that we help them put together. We'll talk about the 4-step research plan, how to solidify your financial plan to franchise, matching your personality with franchise types. Again, that's something that I help with. Questions to ask franchisees. So we have the list, the starting list. You'll add others as you talk with franchisees and understand what they're about. And you can come to FranNet.com. We have several options. There's a entrepreneur readiness profile that you can take. You can find your local consultant. We are all over the country and Canada. And you can see you can check out the resources that we have available and the event schedule. We do a couple of 2 to 3 webinars a month. 2 of them will focus on specific franchises, and you'll learn a lot about them. The other one is a more general session on how to finance your business. And that actually was today, I think. I think that was, this month was today. We did that. The Roadmap to Success booklet. I've asked Ted to send that out after the webinar. A lot of information in that. And that wraps it up. Happy to take any questions. There's my contact information. I just recently have started using the tootall.biz domain name. I was shocked that it was still available, but it was, and I took it. So we'll be building some extra services around that. But for right now, it just takes you to the frannet.com/jadams website. If you scan that QR code in the bottom right, that will take you to a questionnaire. You can talk about, what you learned tonight, what you liked about tonight, and you can ask questions, and we can get connected.
You want to drop the screen? There you go, John.
Yep. There we go.
Just as a matter of discussion, I think the key word in all of this, in my presentation and John's both, is it is a free service. So as you navigate through the world of ownership and owning your own business, getting advice that's free, it's neutral, its primary goal is to help you make the right decision. And we're here to support in the long term and not on the short term.
And
so,
we've done this hundreds of times. You're going to do it once. So come to us and let us help you do it right.
With that, doesn't seem to be any questions. I would thank everybody for their participation. Oh, here's one.
So the franchisor is breaching the contract. Yeah, that's where you want to go back to your business attorney and maybe your franchise attorney. The franchise attorney is really a specialist in understanding that contract. And so you want to, that's probably where you want to start. The franchise agreement will probably have resolution steps for breaches, both on your part and on the franchisor part. But let's be honest, the franchise agreement is written heavily in favor of the franchisor. And that's why you want a franchise attorney to help you understand the document and where the gotchas are. If it gets really serious, you can go to the New York State Attorney General. They're the ones that approve the franchise disclosure document for New York State. And, but I think there's a lot of steps before you get to that point.
Okay, everyone, I hope that answered your question. Seems like we don't have any other ones. I would like to thank everybody for their participation in being a part of this, and ask that you look out for the content that will be sent to you, as well as the evaluation forms. With that, let me wish you a good evening, and as they say in Buffalo, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Thank you.